Alright, whiz bang boom, we are back, and I went ahead and just made some new tracks on here, some new clips, and I've made some new machines and everything, so let's just see how this sounds. It's just a quick example of what you can do with the song, and I'll show you some more things right after I show you the song. So. And that beeping noise is coming from this sampler. And then right here we got the beeping noises, and then we have the pitch. You hear the pitch going up slightly. And then right here we have another drum loop. Some more drums right here. And then the synth. So all this is right here is just a synth and then a drum loop. So that's what that is. I don't know how long that took to make, maybe half an hour or something, but I just want to go ahead and show you some more machines and some more things that you can do. So right here, let's just say if you make a loop and it sounds like this, but you want it to be faster, but you also want it to be in tempo. If you're working with the Dr. Rex loop player, the reason why this clip originally was a waveform, just a regular wave file, but what they did is they put it into a program called Recycle, which is another program by Propellerhead, and what that program does is that it chops up each individual drum hit, and what it does is then plays the drum loop again, but it just puts the individual hits in tempo now. So you can see that when you play it, it hits each individual note. And that is why the Dr. Rex is so cool, because now you could select the two clips, bring them back in that tool window, and see the scale tempo option right here. You could hit double, and now it's just going to be twice as fast, and it was that quick to adjust. So here's the slower one, and then the faster one I'll play right after it. And then here's the faster one. And you can double it again or half it, so make it twice as long. So that's just another trick that you can do. What else? I want to show you some effects now. So that beeping noise right here. You can see that I have this machine right here. This pattern sequencer is pretty much off right now because I only used it for a little bit. So that's not even doing anything really. But let's say I wanted to add an effect to this gameboy sound. What I would do is click the device and then click Create Effects. And then here we have all of our effects. We have some guitar amps, so it sounds like the sound's being put through a guitar amp. We have mastering things right here, so we have an equalizer, a stereo imager, a compressor, and a maximizer. The equalizer, you can adjust the high points of the sound, the low points, and the mid points. The stereo imager, you can map out the sound to spread out between your stereo speakers or have it just in the middle. The compressor, you can make it so that whenever there's a silent part in a sound, it will raise the volume for that silent part, and then whenever the sound gets really loud, it'll lower the volume. So that's what a compressor does. A maximizer, it just makes it louder without clipping. And what clipping is that when you have a waveform and it gets way too loud, it just starts getting really distorted and all staticky. That's what clipping is. So a maximizer is good for raising the volume of the sound, but not dealing with clipping. In other words, removing clipping. And then we have advanced reverb, the echo, the vocoder, the pitch adjuster, and the reverb, and some other things. There's too many to list all in this video, but I'm just going to go with the reverb right here. And now you can see that this effect is now wired up to this machine. How do I know that? Well, if you push the tab key on your keyboard, look at this. All of our machines now, we can see the back side of them. So if this was a physical rack with the physical hardware, you would be able to turn the thing around and see all the wires hooked up to everything. So you can see that the audio output of the sampler is going into the input of the effect machine, and then the output of the machine is wired up back in to this mixer right here. And the mixer is just this thing up here where I can adjust the volume for all my different machines. So if we play the sound now, I'm just going to put this part on loop so you can see we can just adjust this without playing the whole entire song. So just this little part we're going to fiddle around with. So while that's going, you can see that now that the beeping sound has changed a lot. So the reverb, it's usually all the way up on wet, so what you want to do is just bring that down usually to around 20, and it makes it sound a lot better. And now if we push the solo button, we can just hear this sound alone that we're dealing with. So here it is with it off, and here it is with it on, and then here it is more on. More on. Okay, so that's what reverb is. It's like, it sounds like you're in a cave or a big huge parking structure or something. So let's take that off solo, but you'll notice, look here, the reverb effect, it didn't make a track down here in the sequencer. That's interesting. So what you have to do is right click on the machine and then click create track for reverb 2, and now you see it just flash and it made a track. So now we can actually record modulation. So if we were to bring the reverb all the way down, and say I just wanted to fade the reverb up in this one little area right here at the end, I'll do that right now. So I'll push record. It's recording, and now I'm just going to slightly raise that. So now that added a nice little effect at the very end of that build-up. The reverb sound continues. And then here's some other things. I got a synth here. And then what I did over here, right, this modulation is I just moved the volume modulator. And then if you're really curious about where I'm getting that sound, this is a Thor synthesizer. This is just a preset. It's just called Absolute FM Ramper. So if you look around for that, you click your bass folder in your Thor patches folder, you'll find that. And it's just a preset, so whenever you push a key, it changes the rate of the wobble. So that's what that is. Now, I don't know what else I could show you here. I should probably wrap it up. So I'll show you one more thing and then call it good. So where's the Redrum? Here's the Redrum. If you click these two buttons to turn it on and then click run, you can see that we have a pattern bank here. So if I just go to A1, or I'll just say A4, we can now select a note, Well, first of all, you're going to have to select a patch. So you're going to have to load up a patch in there. And now you can select all your different samples that are in that patch. So let's just say I want a beat 4 on the floor. And now we can select, or we can preview other notes that are loaded up in here. So let's just say I wanted this right here. And then I want to take away this. So you get the point. I mean, you can go in here and just select a different note. And make beats on the fly. What else? You can make the steps longer so that if this pattern isn't doing it for you, you want to make it longer, you can increase that. And then to get to the other ones, you can just click this switch. It's kind of hard to explain right here in a limited amount of time that I have, but this is the Redrum machine, and it's very basic. I want to talk about it more, but I can't because I don't have enough time. So you can adjust the pitch and different things for each individual hit, which is really cool. You can't do that on the actually, you can do that on the Dr. Octorex. You can now in Reason 6, but you used to not be able to do that. So you can adjust each individual pitch for each individual note, and you can adjust the length of the note and the volume of each individual note, which is pretty cool. So, what else could I show you? I don't know. There's tons more I can show you, but I just don't want to spend all this time. Okay, I'll show you one more thing, and then I'm gonna go. So you have all the effects that you can plug into a machine, and now we have this NND XT sampler. This is really cool. What you can do, you can load up a patch right here, and it's gonna load up tons of different samples, or you can make your own patch and just load up your own samples. So to do that, right-click in this box, click Add Zone. And now, if you click the zone that you just added, you can add your own sample in it. So let's just say I wanted to add that T-Rex dinosaur sample, which is an awesome sample. So I'm pushing different keys on my keyboard, and you can see that it plays according to pitch based upon which key I push. Now, if I didn't want that and I wanted several different samples in here that play on different keys, so I can just quickly hit a bunch of different notes and have it play different sounds, what I can do now is just do that. And what that does is that just limits the range for that one sample to that one key. So now I have to hit that one key in order to play that sound. So now what I can do is I can click Duplicate Zone and then bump this over one key and then just load up another sample. And now, and now what I can do after I duplicated that zone is I can just double click the sample and then load up a different one. And now bump that over a key, and now I have two different samples on my keyboard. I gotta move this over again. And then the loops down here, you can loop the sample. So if I selected this sample and I want it to play forward and then backward and then forward and then backward again, just go back and forth. That's what it's doing right now. So that's what that is, and then of course, since that was so quiet, I could go create effects, maximizer, pump up these, and then I could get more sound out of it. And then of course you can loop that, so let's just do it a forward loop, and now let's put the loop start at 0 and the loop end at, like, say 5% within the sample. So you can do some really cool glitchy things with that. And you can actually load Rex loops into this sampler. So if you load a Rex loop, it's going to load each individual drum hit. So that's pretty cool. And these knobs, you can't edit the modulation for those knobs. I really hate that, but that's just how it is. If you want to do more glitchy effects with samples, you could go down to create effects and then click, what was it? It was the, oh, I remember what it was. It was create other, and then it's this arpeggiator. And you can do some glitchy things with that if you just set it on free. And now you can adjust the modulation for the rate of the repeating pattern. So let's start. There we go. So you can do some awesome glitchy effects with that, which is pretty cool. So that's it. I might be making more videos in the future like this. Tell me if you like them, if you want to see more, if you've got some value out of this, because I might be making a full Reason course on this. I am not sure yet, but if I do, I'll be probably just going through each individual machine and telling you everything that I know about them, so you can get a good idea of how to make music and how to use all the machines to their potential, so your music can be really good. But that's what that is. Leave a comment down below, and also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more tutorials and hear more of my music. So thanks, wham bam, thank you ma'am, goodbye.